because we had just come from Billie Holiday, I knew that she was a believer, and there was no way that I could cast anybody that didn't really believe. The scene that she is fighting the demon finally, and she starts speaking in tongue. It wasn't scripted, and that's when I knew that God had given me the right actor for the role.
Hello, and welcome back to The Director's Cut, brought to you by the Directors Guild of America. In this episode, a family discovers strange demonic occurrences in their home in director Lee Daniels' mystery horror, The Deliverance. The film tells the story of Ebony, a struggling single mother who moves her family into a new home for a fresh start. But when strange occurrences inside the home threaten to tear the family apart, Ebony soon finds herself locked in a battle for her and her children's lives. In addition to The Deliverance, Daniels' other directorial credits include the feature films The United States vs. Billie Holiday, The Butler, and The Paperboy, the movie for television Good People, and episodes of the series Star and Empire. He was nominated for the DGA Award for Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Feature Film for his 2009 feature, Precious. Following a screening of the film at the DGA Theater in Los Angeles, Daniels spoke with director Adam Shankman about filming The Deliverance. Listen on for their spoiler-filled conversation.
Just to start out, Lee and I have known each other for quite some time, and I adore his work, and I'm a huge fan. And I got to see the movie yesterday, and really, I immediately started texting him going like, dude, I really enjoy this, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm about to moderate this thing. So I just sort of want to jump into this. Just from a cursory, just like, this is just like sort of technical, is like, how did the material come to you?
Yeah.
And what drew you to this specific story?
It came to me, my producer, Tucker Tooley, it brought it to me directly after Precious. And directly after Precious. And I didn't want to do it because, with two reasons. One, it was based on a true story. And I believe the way I work is I'm an open portal. So I'm demanding like this honesty from the actors, and every breath has to be right. And so I know that I'm this open portal, and I believe, and so did my mom, because she told me not to, that I believe in this world. I believe I'm a Christian. I was brought up a Christian. I was brought up in this church that believes this stuff, and I've seen it. And I saw the documentary and her interviews and read the court documents, and I thought that if this that stuff could come on to me. And then as years passed, I realized we were in dark times, and really dark times. And it's not really about spooky. It's really about finding your higher power. And for me, it was about like tomorrow we could be gone. And it was really about scaring you to a higher power, or finding your, for me, it's Jesus Christ. It could be Buddha, Allah, whoever that higher power is for you. So that was the reason why I ultimately agreed to do it right now. And also, I'd never done a horror movie. If it's a horror movie, I think it's I don't know what, it's like a faith-based thriller.
Yeah. I think that it specifically straddles a couple areas. Did you interact with the actual subjects of the documentary, the story?
Because again, I don't believe in getting too connected with them. Mm-hmm. I spoke to her twice on the phone, and then I got a text from her daughter a couple days ago saying that she was just blown away by it, her story being told, and she was in tears. So that made me felt like, I'd done a good job.
Yeah,
for the family.
Sure. For me, one of the most astonishing parts of the movie that really, really kept me in it was the way in which that you balanced the family drama element felt so compelling, so honest, so real. And, the move into sort of the horror, the traditional horror, thriller genre stuff sort of snuck in a much slower way than most movies of this stripe do. There's been other movies where families, Amityville, Exorcist, other movies that, use fractured family issues to introduce, the vulnerability of characters to bring into this need for faith, so to speak. And what was so extraordinary was how compelling that I didn't even need the horror in there. I wanted to know about this family. I wanted to understand these characters. They were so compelling. They were so different. They were so honest. They were so unrelentingly all trying to survive in their own separate ways, that to then have to cope with then this other piece of trauma was so interesting to me. And I'm just, you really love playing in, I've noticed in a lot of your work, you love playing in the family dynamic, the family drama dynamic. And I'm just curious what in you, again, as the storyteller, guided you creatively through that balance.
Yeah. I wanted to check a box as a creative because I just wanted to say, okay, horror, done it. Check it. You know what I mean? As just like
been there.
So you know what I mean? It's just like, so I can do it. Now, if I could, can you imagine what a rom-com would look like? I don't think I could do it. I mean, it was terrifying doing this.
I don't recommend it. It's tough. Critics hate you.
They hate me anyway. So,
yes, my brother.
I think, well, what is a horror film for me? I think that I'm driven by old school horror. I'm driven by The Omen. I'm driven by The Exorcist. These are my favorite movies. The Exorcist, Omen, Rosemary's Baby, where it's just about character.
Yeah.
And that's really what got me to do what it was that I want to do in the beginning. I love characters. And I think that I'd never seen, I did it for so many of Glenn Close's character, for example. Glenn Close's character has never been seen before by Black people. Like, Black people know her. They know this woman. They know her. They know her. There's a white woman that only dates Black men, that has a Black daughter, that has Black-er grandkids, and is embraced by the Black community. We need to see that as Black people, and that goes across big. A lot of white people don't understand that world, but they understand her performance, maybe, I think, but not the nuance and the specificity of it. So I wanted to really get under I wanted to really delve into characters before and you're looking over here, you're so blown away by this relationship between mother and daughter. What is it like to be a Black woman that has a white mother? You're so caught up in that space that you're not really paying attention to the boogeyman that's in the closet.
Yeah. I think that, you hit it. It's that what the movie feels more anchored in is character than event. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's good. Okay.
It's really, I just told you that. Great. That's what it feels like. Is it really like the events of it, are, to me, from a storytelling perspective, secondary to what the journey of the characters are.
And again,
those are the events, those characters' journeys.
Correct. And all these things happened. And they happen in every horror film. People climb up the walls. How do you, and that was really hard for me. That was difficult for me. How do you do that in a grounded way when you are in this grounded, you're dealing with these real people with these real problems? How all of a sudden do you come out with a song and dance? You know what I mean? That was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah. Well, you threaded the needle beautifully by the progressive possession of the kids. I thought, the stuff of the three of them going through their own individual, possession
events. Netflix wanted jump scare from the beginning. They wanted like boom, 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 and that was I didn't know how to do that film.
Well, again, I think you threaded the needle. Like, to me, as I was watching it, I was like, I felt a sense of consistent tension that, again, I felt so much from the characters and what was going on in that house, that the transition into the, more traditionally scary stuff felt very seamless.
Thank you.
To me. I mean, we have to get into the cast. I mean, I'll get to Glenn in a second, but you cast the hell out of this movie. It was magnificent. One thing I texted him yesterday. I just wrote in all caps, Andra. That performance. I mean, for real, give it up. Like, Andra Day kicked the shit out of that character's ass. That every moment was so breathtakingly honest. And, to be perfectly honest, I'm 10 and a half years of recovery. I know, I have a perspective on all of that. And what's interesting is the finding of an addict into the higher power situation and all of that. What was that process like with Andra?
Because we had just come from Billie Holiday. I knew that she was a believer, and there was no way that I could cast anybody that didn't really believe. The scene that she's a devout Christian, and she also knew that this was real. And so the scene that she is fighting the demon finally, and she breaks into tongue. My AD, it wasn't scripted. There were words scripted that she had to say that the writer wrote, and she starts speaking in tongue. And that's when I knew that God had given me the right actor for the role, because they were ready to shut it and cut it. And I said, nope, no, boom. That's from, and
someone wants another take.
And no, we did it in one take.
You did that all in one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
That I wasn't going to be
my definition of pornography, ladies and gentlemen. That, to be on set watching that kind of performance level is the reason, practically all the reason I do all this, just to be able to sit there and watch.
She's an artist. She's not just a singer. She's an actor. She's an artist. And she really she comes prepared, and she's not acting. She's being, which is what I demand from the actors.
Very, very much so. It is. I think it is a breathtaking performance of the highest caliber in all of its levels. There is never a second that I did not believe her and see both the struggle and also the layers upon which she pushed the struggle down, and the way the guards up. Seriously, good on you, good on her.
And I think a lot of it too comes from just her knowing, as a Black woman, that she's not heard or believed. That a lot of Black women, my mom would complain about this as why don't they hear me? Why aren't they believing me? And I was even thinking about even Kamala Harris right now. Mm-hmm. She's not believed, she's not believed. Monique, even Black women don't believe Black women. Mm-hmm. Monique doesn't believe her.
Mm. Oh, yeah. In the movie, I was like, really? That must have been tense on set. Okay.
No, we don't mean the acting.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Adam, that's why I wanted him here.
I was like, really? That's horrible. Glenn Close. I mean, look, she's Glenn Close. Obviously, I want to know about what the process was in, getting her in the movie, and then how game she must have been in order to do all this, all the stuff that excited her about playing it, the stuff that you guys discovered together. Just tell me about that story.
Well, she didn't know what she was walking into. She truly doesn't know this world. She had never experienced this world before, really never experienced this world before. And again, I didn't want LaToya's mother is Black. And so I wanted to stick away from, how do I make it my own? And how do I talk about things that I want to talk about? And yeah. So with Glenn, I made her put on weight, and then I told the costumer to tighten in the clothes, because she, that's what they do. And Glenn said, I don't, what do I look like? What is this? what am I doing here? I'm a joke. What is? I said, no, that's the woman. You're walking into her. And so it took Monique and Ingenue Ellis and Andrea to really talk about Black women and body positivity for her to understand and for her to drop into owning herself, her thickness, her herself. And so at that point, it was like letting the rolls hang out and letting your breasts hang out and coming in down the stairs with Daisy Dukes with your cellulite and everything like that. And so once she tapped into that, I think that she said that she'd never experienced that before. She walked away. That was the gift that she walked away with. And that was body positivity. So yeah, I was nervous working with her because I knew that she didn't know what she was walking into. She thought it was going to be, and then, how do I talk like a Black woman? What? I said, no, just talk like your daughter. Whatever that's just find that and then talk like your family.
The dynamic between her and Andra it's spectacular. What was, in your process, because I know whenever I've shot like super dramatic stuff like that, I tend to be unless it's like, oh no, we got to keep this like real quiet and let them keep doing their thing. There's always that valve, that escape valve to let a little of the air out of the tire, thickness tire. What was that dynamic like in terms of those days of like really hard stuff? And I'm dancing around, without spoiler alert.
I think the hard stuff was with Monique and Glenn, what wasn't said. Mm-hmm. Because Glenn's initial reaction to Monique was, why would I throw attitude at her? Why am I coming at her? I mean, I'm a white woman. Why would I? Look at her. I mean, I said, no, you're not a white woman. You're living in a Black world. You are a G. You're going to come up at her not like Glenn Close. You're coming up at her like Alberta, and Alberta will whoop your ass. So it took a minute for her to understand that, mm-hmm. And Helen Mirren had the same thing with, when I did a movie, my first movie, Shadow Boxer. Mm-hmm. And there was a moment where Helen was in the scene with Monique and, she says, I can't do that. I said, no, you're a murderer, mm-hmm. Helen Mirren wouldn't.
Yeah.
But this murderer will knock the out of Monique. So, yeah.
I think I'm assuming that, this is going to be asked a lot, but talk to us about, bringing Monique back into the fold and into the world. And also, especially, she's the least unhinged person in this movie. So, right. Bringing her back into that and putting her in that.
It was fantastic. We've had a complicated relationship since Precious. And, but part of me healing and part of me finding my light is forgiveness. And I can't, it was part of the process, part of my process as a person, not a filmmaker, but as a person, just finding my light and asking forgiveness from her for whatever it was that she thought I did, even though I didn't understand what I did. But I wanted her to know that I'm here for you. And I want you to know that I'm hearing you. I hear you, Monique. And, because again, I don't think Black women are really heard, and so we immediately say they're difficult and, but that they're loud and everything. So, and it was spectacular. Once we got on the set, I don't listen with Monique. I grunt. We are one. So
that's your sister.
So yeah. So we she knew. And I said, I want you to be the opposite of Mary from Precious. You're now coming in and you're investigating. So I want you in these high pumps. I had her in stilettos and jewelry. She says, I can't walk in this shit. I said, you're going to walk in it. You're going to walk in it.
She looks fantastic.
Well, she says, well, what social worker dresses like that? I said, a social worker with a husband that's a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Or a lawyer, or a guy.
Yeah.
So, but
you put her in a Mercedes and the whole thing.
Yeah. I wanted to throw her and make her look great. So we dressed her up incredibly and She's incredible. I mean, she's marvelous. I don't have to. I mean, I just sort of grunt and move my hands around, and then that's the direction.
She's like, oh, I got you.
Yeah, that's it.
It's also one of the things horror. The audience famously for horror is women. They're the sort of the number one people who go to that. That's when studios release horror films. They're really like banking on.
I didn't know that.
Those women there. Oh yeah.
Really?
Famously. Yeah.
Huh.
And I love, and the other people who really, really love horror are queer people.
Or who?
Queer people. The queer community loves
do
the
we?
horror. Oh my God. It's huge.
Really?
The girl.
Okay.
Don't act like you know.
I know. I mean, I guess I do. I mean,
the queer
Damien!
queer audience. Well, because there's oftentimes there's an intrinsic camp value to it, and it has an inherent drama that's extremely appealing to that kind of
I got a little
dramatically inclined audience.
People say I'm camp, but I don't know what that means because I am. I mean, I put a little bit of myself in it. You know what I mean? Like
we'll have lunch and I'll explain it to you.
Okay, because I just put a little bit of myself in the.
Well, that's what I'm getting to, which is as a queer filmmaker, because we can't separate ourselves from who we are in terms of our perspective on the world. And like when you're looking at things like that, it doesn't feel like you're trying to inject necessary queerness into things. But I'm curious how your sense of, because I'm not saying it's camp, although it would be very difficult for you to argue that there was a lot of Empire that wasn't camp. Like
a lot of who?
Empire.
Oh yeah,
Cookie is so campy.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that was based on Dynasty, all of it.
Yeah. So that's
a
black camp, and that was that was a good moment in your life.
Yeah.
So that was big.
Yeah.
And so there is some gravitational elements for you, and all of that. Putting Mariah, in Precious, but. The fact that those three women sat there braiding each other's hair watching Valley of the Dolls, the most white, homogenous, queer thing that you would never think is on these women's radar. And yet they were there knowing every word. I mean, for me as an audience, I fell out. Like I lost my mind.
Well, I knew that was going to be.
I lost my mind.
Yeah,
but
thank you.
That's calling me.
It was for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
specifically
it.
For you.
It felt like it.
I think.
What was that choice?
I think they didn't understand it, but I think for me, I justified it. That they wouldn't be watching Claudine or Shaft or whatever, Superfly, that they'd be watching something that Glenn watched with her family, that Alberta watched with her family. So it would be something that was the justification for that. But more importantly, I loved the idea of this white woman putting a weave into her daughter's hair. Yeah,
that train was, the image of it was really remarkable.
Yeah. And there's just a passing down of weaves and what Black women do for hair and the voice. And that was really one of the happiest moments of the film,
Oh my God. Yeah. They all felt so connected. I mean, the boys are looking at the fact that she's like,
what?
The fact that those boys are sitting there just staring at like the craziest scene from Valley of the Dolls. Well, I don't know if that's the craziest, but it's one of the craziest. Yeah. It was Chef's Kiss. I'm just telling you that it was a wonderful moment. Again, that's letting the steam, out of the pressure cooker.
And I think too, like people say, oh, he's camp, but I'm gay. I'm Black,
Shut up.
I mean, so what am I supposed, I don't know. I'm me. So I can't be shamed for being me. I mean, people, maybe I take the wrong, what defines camp, but I'm not going to be like, I can't, this is who I am. This is my experience in life, that I walk in proudly. So I always define like, oh, camp, like, what is that? Is that a bad thing? It's a gay thing. I'm gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it.
No. I'm just saying when you say it, it's
quite a hell of an audience.
No, but when I hear it from other like straight cats, it's like like it feels like a diss.
Well,
it's like a black person calling a black person the N-word. I can take it, but like if someone that isn't from our culture talks about camp, it's normally like it has this sort of stain on it, and I'm like, dude, okay, okay, that's what it is.
Because true camp to me has an authenticity that it's an unanticipated, an uncalculated move into something that other people will regard as camp. But when for the story, it just feels like what's right.
Right.
And for the character, whatever they're wearing, for the thing like that, or even sometimes for my amusement as a storyteller, I'm like, oh my God, if we make her hair like do this thing, that would make me laugh, or I would enjoy that. And I'm thinking sort of as an audience member in a strange way, but I'm not thinking like, oh, this is going to be so campy. Like that's not how that works. Mm-hmm. If it's really born out of, who we are as both, as you said, like a queer filmmakers, but also, and storytellers, but us and what makes us what we enjoy, and what we celebrate.
Yes.
I can't not ask you this because the threads of each of the individual stories are so rich. I mean, each one of those characters is so rich with story. The kids are all rich with story. Mom's rich with story, grandma's rich with story, all of that. I have to believe that there was a bunch more movie there.
Yeah.
And I am so curious about what found its way out of the movie. Isn't that a nice way of saying that when they make you cut?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what wandered away from the movie.
I couldn't find, the first thing I couldn't find who the devil was. And Netflix, God bless them, they were really kind to me and letting me just figure it out, because what was I had this beautiful naked man. We're
talking about the movie, right?
The movie. Yeah.
Okay,
yes, we're talking about the movie.
Okay, cool.
The movie. And he was saying, come to me. He said, come to me. He held his hand out as Monique was in the basement at that time, and who wouldn't come to a beautiful naked man, And then they were just like mesmerized by this beautiful. It was supposed to be Satan, and then I was like, that doesn't work, I mean, then I'm trying to figure out, what is the devil? What the fuck does the devil look like? And I realized, that was a lot of that was cut out, and the devil was you. You are the devil. You are who you are. You are the devil. You are God. And so it took me a minute so that was cut out of the film, and we then flipped it to Andra being the devil. And she was like, what? I go, yeah, you got to play your devil now. And she's like, she said, this is my second movie, She's like, what are you talking about? You can't throw this on me at the last minute. That. And then a lot of Monique's character background was, her journey was cut out. Her husband and why it was, and the devil, there was an earlier version where Monique turned into the devil because she was in the basement, and that didn't work. So a lot of her backstory was cut out. And in Ingenue's case, there was she started out to be this. We see her studying the kid more. So we understand that she's this lonely woman that is on a journey for her higher power too. Mm-hmm. And but what I've learned is that Netflix wanted it to move, and I have Final Cut, so I could have done what I wanted to do, but I really wanted to. I wanted to. This is my first time working ever at a studio, and I wanted to make sure that I played ball with them. And listen, here's the thing. It's a Lee Daniels film, but it's also a Netflix audience. So I wanted to make sure that I was sort of doing something that...
Babe, welcome to my world.
I know.
It's like, I think all my original cuts are better, but it's, but I also want to honor an audience. And if this feels very, I understand the desire and the interest in that kind of honoring. And if it's there for you when you're done, you're like, I like this, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, I think it's a beautiful, strangely beautiful family movie. Like, I think that it takes you there. I mean, it's really interesting. I made one movie where there was a lot of religious overtones, and I did everything I can to make sure that it didn't feel like it was like, no, the only answer to this is God. Like that. I was like, faith is really important, but like sort of a standardized version of God is not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you did a really beautiful job.
Thank you, Adam.
Of that. But anyway, that's all of our time.
Thank you.
There's so much more to say, but thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to another DGA Q&A. The Director's Cut is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And please share, subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear your feedback, and you can help fellow film buffs find the show. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. This podcast is produced by the Directors Guild of America.